Now that I've more public and feel like my life is exposed and people are coming up to me, I can't even imagine when you're going through the hardships that you've gone through in the last several years. Like you should have seen me yelling at the Instagram, watching you going, for God's sake, people, she is going through pain and heartache. Get off her back.
Yeah. It's
what I wanted to say.
Yeah, thank you.
How did you handle that?
Oh, I don't consume anything about me. Yeah. And I haven't for years, actually. The very first book that I wrote was fiction 10 years ago. And it was just this little thing that I did because I thought I had always wanted to be a writer. And I thought, I have this story idea. And I wrote this book. I self-published it. I put it on Amazon. And every day I would go and check reviews. And there weren't that many readers, but every once in a while there'd be a new review and it would just make my heart sing and someone would say they liked the book, and every day I did it. And a few weeks into that, I logged on and there was a 1-star review. And I will never forget her handle, and I will never forget what she said, which is that my writing was trite and vapid. And I was gutted. It destroyed me. I was so proud of this book, and I knew it wasn't going to win a Pulitzer, but I was so proud because I finished it. And I cried for like 2 days, and I don't know why I thought I could be a writer. And I went down this whole crazy spiral, and then I realized, my God, a stranger on the internet just literally stopped the way I was living my life. Yeah. And I made the decision right then. I wish I could be that person. I feel like there are some people who are really good at receiving negative criticism and then flipping it, I'm not. I know myself and I know the emotional boundaries that I need to be able to continue to do this work, and they are to not consume anything. So good or bad. If someone has written something good about me in the last 10 years, I have no idea what it said. And if someone's written something bad, I also don't know. That it's really none of my business. I'm just like, because it has nothing to do with me. Because those things that people say are about their perception of me, or or of a brand. They don't actually know me personally. So I'm sure people did say all sorts of things. I have no idea what they were.
That's beautiful. No, maybe I shouldn't have told you.
No. Oh my gosh. The joke is actually Ellen has a new stand-up that's really interesting and really well done. But she has this thing where she says, I wasn't reading what people were saying about me, but that people are talking badly about you on the internet when your family and friends start texting you like, thinking about you, and you're like, oh God, what happened? But all of that to say, I made the decision a couple of years ago to just shut off comments on my social.
I love that.
And I had seen other women especially doing it. I don't really see a lot of men having to do it, but a lot of women doing it.
Yeah.
And it does make me sad because I wish that I had that interaction with this community who's been with me for so long. But there just was too much. There's too many things that pop up, and it felt a bit like it's like sort of like you invite people over to your house for a party, and then they come to your house and then start telling you how ugly your hair is, or why you're a bad mom. And I'm like, I think so. Everything I'm putting out is for the audience, and I just hope that it's helpful, and I just sort of do it and let it go.
Yeah. And we call that amongst my business, we call that mission hearted. That we always want to keep the mission of what we're doing. And before I am going to get into your book here, I just think that there's something remarkable about how you show up that I think can be an example for so many people. And one of the things that I realized as my socials grew is that on the flip side of what we're talking about, I also didn't want to define myself by the positive comments. I didn't want to define myself by the followers, because what happens one day when they go away? Yeah. So it's a really weird world. And so I too just don't look at the comments and was like, I need to look at the impact and what we are doing to impact women and lift women up. do you have some measure? Because I feel your mission. I feel your care for me as a reader. Like, do you have some measurement as to the impact you're making in the world?
To be honest, I really used to ground myself in that. It was so foundational to everything I did. Like, I would say 2018, 2019, when the books were just exploding, and it was I got up every day and like, I'm here and I'm doing, and to be totally honest, completely burned myself out.
Yeah.
And I burned myself out because I was tying every single day's action to my mission and my purpose for being here. And like, this is what I'm doing. And if I'm being honest, when it became about this, like, this is a bigger thing that, the universe is using me as the stuff that I would tell myself, right? I would use that to push myself physically or emotionally past places that I should have gone. And it had such an awful effect on my health. And I also would use that. I wasn't showing up as the mom that I want to be. I wasn't showing up for my friends in the way that I wanted. Like, because everything was about this bigger calling, it really allowed me. I don't know. You see, like, I love documentaries about athletes. I'm not an athlete, but I really love understanding how their minds work. And you see, like, some of the greatest athletes in the world, they really do have to shut themselves down to every other thing in their world in order to do this one thing really, really well. And I do feel like I was kind of aiming at that a bit.
Yeah.
Of like, I can be this person. And I just, when I've done so much work, so much therapy over the last, 4, almost 5 years, and so much inner work and spirituality and reconnecting and all of these things. And it's one of those things, I don't know if you have something like this in your life, but it's one of those things I can do well. I can do this well and I can be this person, but it doesn't sit right in my spirit. It's not the way that I want to live because I'm too good at chasing that. Like, I flip a switch and I'm sort of chasing an accolade or I'm chasing an award or
it's outside in.
Yeah.
That's what I always say.
Yes.
It's outside in.
Yes.
And happiness is inside out,
Yes.
which is really, so much of what your new book is about.
Exactly.
So, yeah. And I'm just curious, and then we are going to dive into your new book. What drives you? Like, then because these are questions I've asked myself as I've aged. I'm postmenopausal, 55.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I want to be postmenopausal so bad.
Yes, you do.
So bad. I can't even explain how bad I want to be there. I'm like, come on, we're good. Let's just wrap it up.
Okay, so let me tell you, it's so freaking amazing for so many reasons, but let me tell you the biggest reason.
Yes, please.
And this is something I'm going to write about in my next book, is that what is happening in the female brain starting at 40 is that the people-pleasing neurons are being pruned away because you don't need them anymore.
I feel that.
And the part of the brain that just can see a more collective picture, a little bigger lens, more like the amygdala that tells you everything about fight, you have to fear, starts to calm down and gives you feelings of empathy. So literally, like, where I sit 2 years after having my last period, I'm like, I love this. Like, if you want to hang out with me, like, get ready for me to tell you what I think.
Yeah.
Because I'm not holding back. And if you want to say something to me that hurts my feelings, I don't really freaking care.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not scanning my environment for every threat anymore. It is so amazing. I can't wait for you to be there.
I need this life. I also need to not have a period anymore.
That too.
I need all of these things for me so badly.